Hey everybody, it's Lynn from A Bit of Birdsong. Today is Thursday. I'm going to be leaving soon for work, but I wanted to show you this really pretty book that I made. On my days off, I was off on Monday and Tuesday. This book is very gaping. I knew that it would be this way, and I'm okay with that. I have a purpose for this book. I was in the mood to make something really pretty, really ornate, Victorian, shabby, and I'm going to do my best to edit the video that I created while I was making this one to show you how I make my covers when they're padded like this. My friend Mary, who sent me a lot of really pretty embellishments, she has a lot of things in here. Mary sent me this when she sent me the beautiful wall hanging. Stacy, this was in the Happy Mail I recently received from you, and this has so many pretty things. There's a button that I have been saving for quite some time. Let's just flip through. I'm not gonna try to explain everything. It's self-explanatory. Again, just beautiful images, beautiful trim from Mary. And what I plan to do with this book is put quotations or sayings all the way through it. Every page will have something written or typed or printed, just an uplifting thought, and it's going to be on display at work. I think it really inspires people to see things like this, and you know, it tells them what they can do with the materials that we have for sale at work. And I work at the scrap exchange. We have a lot of donated art supplies and books and paper and things like that. There's a wax seal there, and this is part of a wedding dress. Again, there's part of one of the embellishments that Mary made and sent to me that was incorporated. Let's see, Carolyn, I think that's one of the little charms that you sent. So this book has a little bit from a lot of different people. It's a one signature book. I love this. So that's an old print, very stiff. If you look at it the wrong way, it kind of bends and cracks. So I wanted to go ahead and just use that somehow. Butterfly die cut from the Dollar Tree. Beautiful trim. But what I was saying, it's one signature with a padded cover that I made with sewing machine. Again, there are vintage things in here that I knew if I didn't go ahead and use them, they were going to just fall apart. I did try to take pictures of many of these things so that I can recreate them digitally to share. Mary, this is just beautiful. So Mary sent a lot of these strips, and you can, you know, cut it down or use the whole thing. She also sent this beautiful envelope with the lace on it, and that's just under this. I turned that one into sort of a belly band, but it's running up and down. Most of the time I see those going from side to side. Beautiful butterfly stickers from the Dollar Tree. And these are some of the pages from the gel plate that I waxed, so they feel really soft. This, of course, is from the jelly plate on the other side, but I put a pretty napkin over the top. Here's another old piece of paper. You can see that it was cracked all the way down into her face. I mean, even if you held this up by itself, it would start falling to pieces. You can see the mold spots or the foxing or, you know, whatever is causing that. I used a stencil to go all around this spread with gold paint. I think that's really pretty. The pink, so this color pink was on this side and it totally clashed with that page, but I wanted to use that page. So covering it with a napkin was a way to calm it down and bring it all together. You might recognize these two pages from the Country Diary of an Edwardian Lady. Put a little stamp here, more of Mary's beautiful embellishments, and here is a leaf that I've glued down. It's not an actual leaf. I purchased this. I'm not sure what it's made from, probably some sort of paper. And just moving on, so there's some textured wallpaper and cutouts from old magazines, more embellishments, butterfly stickers from the Dollar Tree. And then we're at the center. So let me tell you a little bit about binding this. I punched a hole at the top and at the bottom. So this is just a 2-hole binding, and I used this very large awl to go all the way through. I wanted to tie it with something like ribbony. Let me show you what I used. When you see upholstery trim like this, it can be difficult to know what to do with it. But once you cut this thread that's holding everything together, it'll just pull apart, and you end up with ribbons, string. You can break it down and use it in other projects. It wasn't a beast to bind this, but I did have to really be patient and take my time, because I had to pull this, this cluster of stuff through all together. So again, the holes were made pretty big. I laid the whole bundle down and kind of pushed it through with the awl until I had it through there, and then pulled it carefully to keep everything together. And then it's tied in 2 knots with a little bit of glue to hold everything in place. And then this is like ribbon, but it's little beads, and you can tie this. So that's sort of just wrapped under here and then tied to add the ribbon to it. I could only poke so much through those 2 holes I made. But I do love the way it turned out, and I think it's going to hold just fine. Just more beautiful images. I wanted this book to be really rich with lots of old Victorian images and even older butterflies, stamping, trim, really beautiful thoughts. I love this. Endure and keep yourself for days of happiness. And this is from a card that was designed by Mary Englebright. I love her. Does anybody remember the magazines called, was it Home Companion? Something like that. Just the most beautiful magazines. I subscribed to those back in the day. They used to make me really happy. And they weren't Victorian, but they were beautiful. They had a lot of really fun, artsy things in them. There's a pretty stamp, an old ad, and this one is on my website. I do try to take pictures of these things and then share them digitally. Unless you're just a collector and you have a place to keep 100, 150-year-old pages, they end up breaking down, and sometimes it's good just to go ahead and use them instead of letting them fall to pieces. So this is an embellishment that Mary made, the fabric with the beautiful image sewn on top of that, and then that is, I think, hot glued into place, which I just love these, so I went ahead and made a whole page out of that one. And Mary did this one, and an old ad here. I stenciled some butterflies here using a stencil and some acrylic paint, and I did use the proper brush this time so that it doesn't go all up under the stencil. More stickers. And Mary sent me this little card with the lace at the top. There are more of the pages from the jelly plate. And here we are at the back, and just an old image in there. I love this saying, Mary sent this. Sometimes you just have to create your own sunshine, and that's very true. So here we are at the back, and I'm not going to take up more of your time. You will probably see this again once I get all of the words added. Again, I want this to be something that I put on display at work, and I did record the whole process of making this cover. I've been editing that video. It takes a long time to edit videos like that because you don't want just a lot of dead air. You want people to be able to watch and glean something. As soon as I have that done, I will post it. Anyway, I think this is lovely. I was just in the mood to make something really ornate and just, I showed this to Jason and he said he wanted to hug it. And it does feel that way. It's very padded. It's very full. And when you open it, of course, it's like in the very front. It's almost hard to see that page, but it's going to serve its purpose. It was created to look exactly like it looks. All right, I hope everybody has a wonderful day. I will be back as soon as I possibly can, and bye for now.